Absolutely, I can say I'm living in paradise.
It's unreal, like actually unreal. It's stunning around the clock, whether it's day or night, summer or winter.
I think it's...
Since 2020, we've witnessed rapid changes in our world. COVID proved work can happen anywhere, while wars displaced millions. What now? Safety is the #1 factor in choosing where to live. Back then, most of us lived in our hometowns and only took 2-week vacations abroad. But now, those sunny destinations have morphed into full-blown expat hubs practically overnight. Places like Bali, Dubai, Lisbon, Tenerife, Phuket, Mexico City, even California. And one of the biggest names on that list, Mexico's Caribbean coast, aka the Riviera Maya.
Oh, wow.
Hey friends, Letaev here. Over the last few years, I've noticed everyone's become suddenly obsessed with Mexico. And I'm not just talking about vacation vibes or winter escape either. I mean full-on relocation. So why Mexico? Let me break it down for you. First off, warm weather and breathtaking natural beauty. Second, it's significantly more affordable than the US, Canada, or Europe. Third, you'll find tons of English-speaking communities here. And the kicker? There's super easy visa process for long-term stays. Let's talk numbers. For over a decade now, pandemic years aside, Mexico's been issuing and renewing about 115,000 residence permits annually. And guess what? The vast majority go to Americans. I got curious about Mexico too. Ended up living there for 2 months to really weigh the pros and cons. And you know what? I liked it so much, I got my own residency there. Today, we're diving into the region where my family and I lived, the Riviera Maya. It's Mexico's #2 most popular expat spot, right after Mexico City, of course. I'm going to break down this whole area for you, comparing different towns, what makes each one unique, the whole ordeal. By the end of this, you'll know exactly whether the Riviera Maya is right for you. Okay, let's kick things off by understanding what the Riviera Maya is all about. It's the Caribbean coastline along Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, where powdery white sand meets turquoise water, all backed by lush tropical jungles. And it's also booming with new infrastructure for both tourists and expats. Now, the Riviera Maya isn't just one place. It's a string of resort towns, many of which have already become major expat hubs. We're talking Cancun, Puerto Morelos, Playa del Carmen. Then there are Puerto Aventuras. This includes the island Cozumel, the town of Cozumel, and of course, Tulum. Keep your eye on Bacolod. This quiet town is still under the radar, but trust me, it's next in line for the expat boom. By the way, I made a whole video about Bacolod. Check it out on my channel. Links waiting for you in the description below this video. Let's map out where expats are settling on this coastline. We'll go north to south. And where better to start than Cancun? We're kicking off with Cancun because, well, this is where the whole Riviera Maya boom began. It's the biggest city here and the #1 tourist hub of the region. Just 55 years ago, Cancun had barely a few hundred residents. Today, it's a full-fledged million-person city. The first hotels popped up in the early 1970s on that skinny strip of land now called La Zona Hotelera, Hotel Zone. They basically copied Miami's playbook, since back then, Miami was the glamorous hotspot. And honestly, the vibe here still screams Miami. What's the postcard version of Cancun? Imagine a picture-perfect sandbar lined with luxury high-rises, all gazing out at that famous Caribbean blue. On the opposite side, you'll find golf courses stretching right up to the bay. And let's not forget that road, always packed with luxury cars cruising up and down. And when the sun goes down, that's when the real fun begins. That's not actual Cancun, that's just the hotel zone. The real city looks like this. You won't find proper parks here, but you will find rush hour traffic jams. Honestly, walking these streets, you can tell Cancun grew fast and messy. Zero urban planning involved. Why? Because when you've got thousands of hotel workers to house, you build first and maybe think later. So where should you look for housing if you're planning to live in Cancun? Truth bomb? Your options are kind of limited. Your options are basically two. The hotel zone, but it's basically a tourist bubble. And downtown. Well, charming isn't the word I'd use here. Cancun's expanding north with brand new residential districts. Among them, you've got the upscale Puerto Cancun district and the developing areas just north of it. Most expats actually prefer the southern zones, that sweet spot between the airport and downtown. They've built stacks of new condo developments here, literally something for every style and budget. Cancun has 4 international schools, hosts the state's main hospitals, and contains the region's largest airport. That's why expats looking for robust infrastructure tend to choose Cancun.
We ultimately chose Cancun, probably because it's considered more of a proper tourist hub, you know?
And the high-rises, we generally prefer city life.
We're city people at heart. I mean, we really appreciate having proper infrastructure around.
Most residential complexes have private grounds here, and you may stroll anytime there, morning, noon, night. Minimal traffic.
Quiet roads with no heavy traffic. It's just a super comfortable place to live.
While the kids nap, you can take a dip in the pool right on the property. Or zip out to a local fair or event. Everything's within reach.
To summarize, Cancun's advantages are developed infrastructure, the best healthcare on the coast, and a wide selection of schools. The disadvantages are traffic jams, an unattractive downtown area, limited housing options for expats, and its resort town atmosphere. Alright, up next, Playa del Carmen. This is hands down one of Riviera Maya's most popular expat hotspots. Now, I actually called this place home for 2 months with my family, so I'll give you my honest take. But first, let's cover some playa basics. Like Cancun, Playa was once a small fishing village that became a proper city in just 20 years. Today, it has over 300,000 inhabitants, with the population growing rapidly. Playa is this crazy mix. You've got old school neighborhoods right next to shiny new districts that look straight out of a resort brochure. Don't expect pretty city parks, but somehow the whole place feels way more lived in than Cancun. That's exactly why it's especially popular with families. The city packs in 2 international schools, plus both public hospitals and private clinics.
Hola.
Prime residential areas include Playa Car, with a few modern downtown blocks with sleek condos, and those exclusive residential compounds up north. You've got solid options too. Oceanfront villas, golf course homes, or fully equipped condos and secure complexes. We personally picked one of these northern Playa communities for our family. So why did we decide to settle in Playa? We flew here with 2 kids. And for us, it was crucial to find a city with gated condo communities, secure with direct beach access, solid infrastructure inside the complex, and a well-developed area around it. We wanted a mix of expats and locals, but not some overly touristy spot. And of course, safety was a big priority.
When my family and I had to choose between Cancun and Playa del Carmen, Playa won hands down. Why? A huge Russian-speaking community here. Everyone's friends with each other. Lots of schools, lush greenery, and the beach is right at your doorstep. Playa del Carmen is blissfully compact, so even without a car, you can walk everywhere. After scouting other countries, even other parts of Mexico, I can confidently say I live in paradise. This little town of ours, Playa del Carmen, it's unreal, like actually unreal. It's stunning around the clock, whether it's day or night, summer or winter. And then there's the sea right there. Anytime we're in a funk, we just go, stare at the waves for a while, instant mood fix. Depression doesn't stand a chance here.
How did we pick our apartment? For us, an ocean view was non-negotiable, and we didn't want the beach to be more than a 5-minute walk away. When we got sent the listing photos, my wife and I opened them up, and there it was. Ocean views, epic sunrises, and a gorgeous park right nearby. Decision made in seconds. Yes, we're staying here for a few months. At that point, we had no clue what actually mattered when moving into a place like this. And those first few days, pure bliss. That stunning view, the beach, literally a 1.5-minute walk tops. But by day 4 or 5, the downsides started creeping in. During storms at night, we had to sleep with earplugs because the waves were so loud they'd wake us up, and kids too. If we left the windows open, everything got coated in a fine layer of salt. And if the windows stayed open for even half a day, the humidity inside got insane. So here's my advice. Don't buy a place on day 1 when you're still riding that high of excitement. Rent first. Test it out. Live with the pros and the cons. Then, make a well-informed decision.
We don't envy the beachfront homeowners with floor-to-ceiling windows. We've seen a million videos of waves crashing straight into those windows during storms. Terrifying. This is Playa del Carmen's beachfront row, where all the fancy villas are. You know, the kinds where celebrities like Britney Spears or others stay when they're in town. We've all seen those crazy videos when a hurricane hits and suddenly waves are just crashing right through the floor-to-ceiling windows.
Final verdict on Playa del Carmen pros? Killer infrastructure and tons of housing options for every taste. Cons? It's a resort town, so you may expect crowds and traffic. The next big expat hub on the Riviera Maya is Tulum. And hey, if you want the full deep dive on this place, I've got a whole video about it. Links right here for anyone who's curious. But for now, let's do a quick rundown of the spot. According to the latest census, about 35,000 people live in Tulum full-time, but during peak season, that number nearly quadruples. Unlike Playa del Carmen or Cancun, Tulum spent years as just a tiny jungle village. Nowadays, it's exploding with growth, transforming at lightning speed.
First of all, I came to Tulum with my mother in 2014 just to have a vacation, and I was like shocked by the beauty. I was like, wow, is it even real? Like, the world don't know about this place. Like, I tell to my friends in Miami, like, Tulum, and nobody even know the name. Like, what is this, Anna? Like some village? Moved here. It was like a small village. And then all the Americans came after COVID, and it's like, whoa, what is this? Who are those people? They don't belong here. Go away.
And since half the town's still under construction, no matter where you go, you'll hit a building site. The most popular area among expats is Aldea Zama, perfectly sandwiched between downtown and the beaches. Though lately, the southern part of town is gaining traction with all these new complexes popping up. Downtown's still the most budget-friendly, but let's be real, it's not the comfiest for long-term living. Tulum's beaches? Arguably the best in Mexico. Technically, it's one massive coastline, but somehow, you can still find quiet little pockets to yourself. Overall, Tulum's got this laid-back bohemian charm, a small resort town obsessed with ecotourism and yoga. That said, don't worry, there's no shortage of beach clubs throwing parties and festivals year-round.
Beach clubs? Oh, I'm just like enjoying life every minute there. I go like, normally I don't work on Sundays. So like in the morning I just go there, like I turn off my phone, I order margarita and tacos, and I'm just looking at the beach and think like how the world can be so beautiful and how grateful I am. Tulum is simple. Tulum is a village. It's not pretending to be a city at all. It is what it is. And yeah, it's super light vibe here, super light. I call Playa Cancun, in my mind, it has buildings, like real buildings, real big hotels, a lot of concrete, and Tulum made of wood sticks and sand, I don't know, and jungle, and like, it's natural.
People say Tulum's only for millionaires. True or false?
We are millionaires with pesos. With million pesos, you can afford Tulum. Correct. I think for like having good life here, but like having like okay apartment with like all amenities, having a car, paying for gas, paying for food, I would say like $3,000-4,000 minimum for one person, one bedroom apartment or studio.
Let's be real, Tulum's infrastructure isn't quite on par with Playa or Cancun yet. You won't find full-scale international schools here, though there are a couple private bilingual schools following foreign curricula. Healthcare? There are a few private clinics and public hospitals to choose from. Unlike Cancun and Playa, Tulum still has untouched natural beauty. Plus, there's no shortage of gorgeous, stylish residential complexes popping up everywhere. As for the downsides, construction zones are everywhere, and during peak season, you'll be elbow to elbow with tourists. Same story all along the Riviera Maya. Right between Tulum and Playa, there are these hidden gems where people settle for peace and quiet, but still stay close to all the big city perks. I'm talking about the resort village of Acumal, plus 2 gated communities, Puerto Aventuras and Bahia Principe. Acumal is known for its pristine beaches and coral reefs. I mean, we're talking some of the best snorkeling and diving spots in the whole Riviera Maya. Bahia Principe is more of a resort complex with residential areas. It's this beautiful gated community surrounded by lush golf courses. It's mostly retirees enjoying their golden years here. Puerto Aventuras is my personal favorite. Imagine a remote resort village that's got everything you need. It's set up like its own little self-contained world. Puerto Aventuras is built around these picturesque bays. Some are home to dolphins, manatees, and sea lions. The preferred transport here is golf carts and buggies. Trust me, this is the smart way to get around.
Well, 10 years I've been living in United States, and since COVID, I'm already in Mexico. In a very those-time wild place is called Tulum. Since COVID, Tulum changed a lot because it was like a bubble about investments and about to buy properties there. And the rent for the apartments was crazy up. Example, I had an apartment like for $3K, and it was very nice apartment, huge, like beautiful. But anyway, when my friends showed me that land in Puerto Aventuras, when for almost the same price, you could get an amazing spot for living on the front of the ocean. Here's no construction. It's like the most beautiful thing. Everything's clean, no dust, no noises. It's absolutely calm place, absolutely safe place. Safest place like in Riviera Maya. We have a special gate. When you go to the entrance, you have a special card. They screen you with a camera. Only people who is a residents of that place could come and cross with no problem. So if I have a guest, I have a special application which I'm using to give my friends or guests like a special QR code. Otherwise, nobody can go in.
So the big question is, can you actually live here without ever leaving?
For some people, yes. For some, no. It's like I have so many friends who's completely stuck in Puerto Aventuras. And yeah, for them, they have more or less everything. But even if you don't, you have 15 minutes drive and you have a kind of big city, Playa del Carmen, which for sure you have everything. We have local places with the food, we have restaurants, we have so many activities, and especially I could say for kids. The schools here very good. And all of my friends who has kids, they using that school inside of the Puerto Aventuras. They showing every day about all activities of the kids. And to be honest, like I'm very impressed with it. What's the best we have here also, it's a natural pool, which created, of course, by people. So we have just a beautiful Instagram pool, infinity pool behind me. Right here is a natural one. Also, they created some natural jacuzzi. One of the good benefit also when you need ocean water. Absolutely, I can say I'm living in paradise. And yeah, you just can see around and I guess think the same like I'm telling you.
After spending a week in Puerto Aventuras, here's my take. On the plus side, you got top-notch security, prime beachfront properties, and they've even managed to squeeze in quality schools and medical clinics despite the compact size. The downside? Same as most resort towns, that ever-present vacation vibe. If you're looking for another expat hotspot in the Riviera Maya, let me introduce you to Cozumel Island. What makes it special? Those postcard-perfect white sand beaches and what many consider the clearest waters in the entire Riviera Maya. This place has always been the go-to spot for divers and snorkelers. Sure, it's still tourism central, but here's the interesting part. Expats are slowly catching on to Cozumel's charm too. Cozumel sits just 20 kilometers off the Yucatan Peninsula's coast, a quick 40-minute ferry ride from Playa del Carmen. Easy enough. On Cozumel, you've got all kinds of housing options, apartments, houses, even full-on villas. You can stay right in the island's main town, San Miguel, or settle somewhere quieter if you prefer. The island has an international airport, so getting to the mainland or hopping to other countries is super easy. For families with kids, there are several English language schools, plus both public and private healthcare facilities. One of Cozumel's biggest perks is the clearest water on the Riviera and solid infrastructure. Downsides? Well, the economy relies heavily on tourism, and you are kind of far from the mainland. Alright, let me tell you about another spot I checked out in the Yucatan, Mérida, the peninsula's capital. Now, Mérida isn't technically part of the Riviera Maya, but it is a major expat hub in Mexico. I've hit up pretty much every Yucatan town along the Caribbean coast, and people keep telling me, Anatoly, you gotta go see Mérida. It's this cool expat scene. So finally, I took the plunge. This place is not as hyped as, say, Tulum, but it's seriously interesting. Definitely worth testing out for yourself. So what's the deal with Mérida? Number one, it's the safest city in Mexico. Feels way closer to European standards. Second big perk, prices here are way lower than the Riviera Maya. Ballpark estimate, a couple with no kids can live comfortably for around $2,000 a month. Now, Mérida is properly Mexican. Colonial heart, colorful historic center. But step outside downtown, and it morphs into this weirdly Americanized sprawl. Most expats cluster in the northern zone. Basically, these are country clubs. You know, golf course communities with gated neighborhoods built around them. Mérida is super easy to compare to Cancun. Both cities have roughly the same population, around 1 million people. But when it comes to their economies, huge gap. Mérida exports over $1 billion in goods and services, including stuff like propellers, gas pipes, tech imports, and a massive chunk of that is precious metals and jewelry. Meanwhile, Cancun? Well, other than tourism, it doesn't really export much at all. So, just from that one, admittedly indirect metric, you can tell how self-sufficient the city is. It's not 100% dependent on tourism. Mérida feels like a proper, fully functioning city where everything would be just fine even if tourists disappeared tomorrow. Unlike Cancun, Mérida isn't coastal. It's about 30 to 40 kilometers from the nearest shoreline. That's where you'll find Progreso, a small port town on the Gulf of Mexico. And hey, fun fact, no seaweed problems here, unlike Quintana Roo, since it's tucked deeper into the Yucatan Peninsula and the Gulf.
Okay, so this is the biggest beach town in the whole state of Yucatan. It's 25 minutes away from Mérida. Even though we're the largest, we're still a small town. The way of life here is very slow. We're not a very big city in the sense that it's only like 15 blocks wide, but then it spans like 6 kilometers. So basically anywhere you live here, you're only about 1 kilometer away from the ocean. A lot of expats feel very comfortable living in Progreso since they're only 25 minutes away from world-class hospitals, world-class shopping. You know, Mérida is basically the capital of the South, and it's got like all the infrastructure necessary that anybody could want to have a really good lifestyle. And by living at the beach, they get the best of both worlds, right? They get to wake up next to the ocean, and they still have first world amenities within a earshot away. If you stay away from like the expat neighborhoods or the vacation rentals, then you were looking at spending anywhere between like 6,000 pesos to like 10,000 for a basic 2-bedroom. If you're looking for something more high-end, then yes, you can be spending anywhere between like 1,000 to 1,500 US dollars. Food is cheap. At restaurants, maybe not so much because we are a tourist town, but you know, grocery stores and everything else, you probably wouldn't spend, a family of 4 wouldn't spend any more than like $600 a month.
Así es la vida, así es la vida. Así es la vida.
Alright, so we've already checked out the most popular cities in the Riviera Maya and weighed the pros and cons of each. Now let's break down the entire region in detail, using key factors you'd consider when choosing a place to live. One of the biggest deciding factors for where to live is infrastructure. So how's Riviera Maya doing on that front? Right now, the region has 4 international airports, and you can catch direct flights to almost anywhere in the world from here. And fun fact, Cancun Airport is actually the 2nd busiest in Mexico, after Mexico City, and the 5th busiest in all of Latin America. The Maya train is now running all across the Yucatan, making it super easy to zip between cities quickly and comfortably. When it comes to internet speeds, Mexico's totally got it figured out. Working online here is a breeze. The time zones are convenient too. We're in the same zone as New York and Miami, and just 5 hours behind London.
I live in Tulum, and I also live in New York. I own travel concierge company for the last 10 years. It's online business. At the moment, next 12 months, 10 months, I'm going to combine Tulum and New York. I'm so happy to jump on the plane just with my laptop, fly to Tulum, put on bikini and go to the beach. Everything in the same day. I'm like, no luggage, no packing, no hustle, simple, non-stop flight.
Unlike places like Bali, where sidewalks are practically non-existent, Mexico actually does this right. The sidewalks are wide and well-maintained. You can easily walk with strollers or ride bikes pretty much anywhere. And here's something cool. In Turkey or Vietnam, drivers won't always stop for you at crosswalks. But in Mexico, it works perfectly. Just like in the United States or Europe. Pedestrians actually get the right of way here. When it comes to infrastructure, the Riviera Maya actually reminds me a lot of Florida. You've got the same kinds of highways here, though the quality's a bit rougher around the edges. And the stores? Literally identical. Walmart, Home Depot, Office Depot, Costco, and Petco.
The very good benefit, we also have farm markets with the local Mexican food. In the United States, if it's a cheap food, it's a plastic food for sure. So here, with a nice price, you able still eat well and don't spend much money, because we have so many villages, and if your idea to eat still healthy, but of course, like, you have to know that places you just go to any village which nearby you, and yeah, you know about all markets. You can ask any people around you and they're gonna show you the places, very kind. And you also have this idea, you know, like to keep going with the healthy life and routine.
Now, the biggest infrastructure downside? Construction everywhere. These towns are booming thanks to all the tourists flooding in, so ongoing construction is kind of unavoidable. But hey, it's growing pains, and things should definitely improve over time. By the way, when I was making my Cascais video about choosing places to live, I put together the exact checklist my family used personally. That complete criteria list is waiting for you in the description below. Just hit the link. Download it, fill it out for yourself, and trust me, it'll seriously help you make the right decision. One of the most important factors when choosing where to live is, of course, the climate. Now, Riviera Maya sits right in the tropics. During winter nights, temperatures rarely drop below 20 degrees Celsius. Daytime temps hover between 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. Though in direct sunlight, it feels like a solid 40 degrees Celsius. Come summer, we're talking 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, but with crazy humidity. It feels like you're literally sitting in a sauna. The only thing missing is someone throwing water on hot stones. Summers here, brutally hot. I'd personally get out if I could. And from June to July all the way through November, we're in hurricane season. In the past 20 years, we've had 2 Category 5 hurricanes hit. That's the strongest, most destructive level possible. But the region knows how to handle hurricanes. The warning systems work well, and emergency services respond pretty quickly. But if you're thinking about buying property here, you'll want to plan ahead. Construction quality, proper insurance, having a repair budget, all this matters big time. Though let's be honest, if a Category 5 hits, there might not be much left to repair.
Speaking of storms, hurricanes love Playa too. One's coming soon actually, and when it rains here, it pours for days. A very Mexican special feature. The drainage system is a joke here. After any rain, Playa and Cancun turn into swamps. Puddles reach bumper height, sometimes even the hood. Even after a small rain, but it dries fast. Give it an hour and you'd never even know it rained.
In recent years, the region's been getting slammed with sargassum algae. And of course, this always happens during peak summer months. Scientists point to several culprits: climate change, pollution, and shifting ocean currents. Last year was particularly brutal. We're talking apocalyptic levels here. Rotten seaweed blanketed nearly every inch of Riviera Maya's coastline.
The sea gets filthy in summer. There's really only one reliably clean beach here, and it's inside Puerto Aventuras, a private gated area. If you don't have access to this area, forget about swimming in the sea during summer. Cenotes are our only summer escape.
Also, Puerto Aventuras, very nice place because we almost never have a seaweed. Like, I don't know, like 7 years already in a row. And every year we thought like we have a schedule for that. Like since May to August, we have a seaweed. For now, the situation the worst because like we could have a seaweed any day, even in during the winter when it's absolutely unusual time for seaweed.
Algae season's a gamble. Some years it starts in March, others April. Last year, for example, the seaweed invasion only lasted from June through September. But here's the thing, nobody can predict the exact months. But tour operators won't warn you. We've met so many heartbroken tourists who arrived dreaming of turquoise Caribbean waters, only to find a brown seaweed soup. Most agencies conveniently forget to mention this small detail. Luckily, there are 2 islands near Playa del Carmen with pristine beaches year-round. Isla Mujeres and Cozumel. And actually there's another one, Isla Cantoy.
Now, if you're wondering why this organism invasion is happening globally and which Riviera towns might get hit next, I've left a handy link in the description below with all the details. Next up, leisure and entertainment. Now, some might think this isn't the most crucial factor when choosing where to live. But let's be real. Your quality of life totally depends on how you spend your free time, right? When it comes to the Riviera Maya, here's the deal. This region was literally built for tourism. That means there's an insane amount of cool stuff to do here. The entertainment scene is top-notch.
Playa has an awesome mix of free public parks, and I mean lots of them, plus some government-run ones. Weekends here are always buzzing. Every Friday and Saturday you'll find something happening, and live music is basically guaranteed. And when you've had enough of city parks, we've got tourist adventure parks. Lots of them, like Explore, Xcaret, Xalá. We're packed with incredible eco-parks where you can spot exotic birds, observe wildlife, and trek through actual jungles. We've even got entire parks dedicated to cenotes. As residents, we get half-price admission, and here's a weekend hack. Many parks drop insane discounts, sometimes 70% off. That's basically a steal. Some attractions are completely free for residents. Just like visitors, we can book any hotel we want for the weekend. Either get a day pass, full hotel access from morning to night, or book a room to use all the facilities. Even if checkout's at noon, you can stay till sunset enjoying that sweet all-inclusive life.
Along this coast, you'll find the second largest coral reef in the world. Only Australia's is bigger. So naturally, diving and snorkeling here are absolutely next level. Oh, and get this. The Yucatan Peninsula has thousands of freshwater underground caves. They're called cenotes. You can explore them with guides or go solo.
One of my favorite things to do in Tulum, swimming naked in the cenote in the morning. This is like, it's the blast. It's the best part of Tulum, like being in this nature with the beautiful cenote and just early in the morning, jump there naked. I think it's
Fishing and yachting? Absolutely world class here. Oh, and Cirque du Soleil has a permanent show. Need I say more?
We're always on the lookout for activities to make family days special. Like those Christmas events we went to in Playa. We strolled around, checked out the snow displays, and even got to touch an ice rink. We had a great time walking around, saw the snow again, touched the ice rink, and watched a performance.
They brought in this real ice rink. I tell you, right off the ice. The kids absolutely love checking it out.
Now here's a pro tip about getting away. With Cancun Airport being one of Latin America's biggest hubs, you're just a quick flight from weekend getaways to Costa Rica, Panama, or the States. Total change of scenery in 1 to 2 hours. And let's not forget Mexico itself. You've got everything from volcanic landscapes and deserts to immersive cultural experiences. Let's talk about safety, because let's be honest, it's one of the biggest factors when choosing where to live.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you're in gated communities like Playa Car or Puerto Aventuras, the only real threat you'll face is a sneaky raccoon raiding your balcony for fruit. Seriously, lock up your mangoes. When we lived in a gated complex in Playa del Carmen, we barely even locked our front door. The kids could play outside or at the beach, which, by the way, had security patrolling. But once you step outside these areas into the city center or less guarded neighborhoods, well, let's just say you've got to keep your wits about you. The US government didn't slap that exercise increased caution warning on Quintana Roo just for fun. There are real reasons behind it. Crime rates here are higher than Mexico's national average. Over 25% of crimes are fraud related. We're talking shady companies offering help with residence permits or real estate deals. Street robberies and pickpocketing take silver medal in this unwanted competition.
We regularly see patrols circulating the city, especially downtown. I'm talking serious armed security. You'll notice armored cash transporters, their weapons, their numbers, whatever. Sure, that might seem a bit much at first, but since this is a tourist zone, personally, I've never felt uncomfortable here.
But it doesn't feel tense, no pressure, no something's about to go wrong vibe at all. Once you're living here, it's hard to understand why people keep asking, is it safe? To us, this is just everyday life. I always say the locals are such warm, rainbow bright people. Always smiling, always helpful.
When we considered moving to Mexico, everyone warned us about cartels, violence, and drugs. Yeah, that stuff exists here, but you just gotta know where not to go. Don't go looking for trouble, stay away from drugs, and you'll never have a single issue. Cartels only fight each other. They don't attack tourists, and it's safe. Mexico fights hard to protect its tourism industry. They want Americans, Canadians, and all visitors to feel completely safe here. That's why you'll see cops everywhere, even patrolling beaches.
The actual risk is not really high, but I've got friends who have literally caught crossfire here. When you hear those stories, it definitely makes you think twice about putting down roots. Let's be real. This isn't exactly Riviera Maya's best selling point.
Of course, we also had two very dangerous situations in story. It happened 2014 at the BPM festival. It was a problem between so many groups of narcos. One of the group of the narcos started to shoot. They've been killed 2 or 3 tourist people from the United States. But for the festival in Playa del Carmen, Tulum started to do so many parties. And like 2 years ago in downtown, it was also the situation between narcos and some girl which she had a dinner at the local place. She got shot in and she died. So yeah, it only 2 stories like that with a very bad the end of the story. More or less, we kind of safe here. It's not a problem to be a tourist. Yeah, I live here alone already like almost 4 years non-stop. And before many years for winter time. And I could say even if I was close by that stories which I told you with the BPM and some of the shooting in Tulum, I feel absolutely safe. You have to remember, bad situation could happen anywhere.
Moving on to our next topic, immigration. Let's talk about how to get residency in Mexico and maybe even a passport down the road. Spoiler alert, Mexico is one of the easiest countries to immigrate to, especially compared to the United States or European Union. Case in point, I got my Mexican driver's license in just 1 hour. All I needed was a copy of my Ukrainian license, my passport, and a utility bill from a friend of mine. For comparison, in Portugal, I waited almost a full year just to get my driver's license, and my kids still haven't had their residence permits renewed, even after 1.5 years to 2 years. Fun fact, in Mexico, your driver's license is basically your main ID. You can even use it to fly domestically, no problem. Now, if you're seriously considering moving to Riviera Maya, there are a few ways to get residency here. Option 1, prove a monthly pre-tax income of at least $4,000. Option 2, have more than $65,000 sitting in your investment or bank account. Option 3, you'll need to invest about $300,000 into local real estate. This is their version of a golden visa. Option 4, straight up buy property worth about $600,000. Of course, there are other routes. Get a work visa, marry a Mexican citizen, or a couple other less common options. I got my Mexican residence permit in just 4 months, which is awesome news. In some countries, you might wait 1.5 years, sometimes even 3 years or more. For me, this was about creating an additional safety net. If the world goes crazy again with another COVID situation or new restrictions, I want the freedom to relocate to a country where I feel comfortable. That's the beauty of residency. Even if borders close to tourists, I can still enter whenever I need to. I've got residence permits scattered across different countries and continents. Plus, I'm holding 2 passports, my Ukrainian one and an investor passport from Vanuatu that gives me next-level travel freedom and extra perks. Bottom line, I've got my safety net locked in and total freedom to roam this beautiful planet. And fun fact, my company Micronis has already helped over 1,000 people secure residency or citizenship through investment across 20 countries. If this sounds like your kind of freedom, hit the link in the description below. We'd love to help you too. When relocating with kids, 2 factors absolutely make or break your decision: schools and hospitals. And here's the good news. Riviera Maya scores surprisingly well on both fronts. Now about education. It's honestly a great spot for raising young kids, just to be clear. We're not talking universities here. What's the deal with schools in Riviera Maya? First off, there's Montessori, plus the Green School, which, by the way, also has campuses in Bali, South Africa, and just a handful of other countries. Their new location in Tulum is opening in just a few months. You've also got Waldorf, Steiner schools, British schools, and other international options. Some of them are super nature-focused. So if you're thinking of moving here with younger kids, the choices are actually pretty solid.
Here, preschool and primary school are combined. Kids start around age 4 in what they call the preschoolers division. Tons of options, private, public, you name it. We personally toured 7 schools for our kids.
We ended up choosing MAC. It's an American school. Everything's based on the Montessori system, very child-centered specs.
Where they take this super relaxed approach. Kids can touch, jump, lie down, whatever helps them absorb. Best school ever. I love their methods, how engaged the kids are, what they're learning. Our kids absolutely love getting to experience school in different countries and hang out with such a diverse crowd. They see firsthand how people can be totally different, and that's amazing. It teaches them to be understanding, open-minded, and to look beyond surface things, like appearance or language barriers. The kids switch from Spanish to English mid-sentence while running around.
Honestly, the integration happens surprisingly fast, in my opinion. For young kids who aren't burdened by social constraints yet, it just works naturally.
We've got one daughter. She's 7 years old, so she attends school. She's thriving in 2nd grade here, fluent in English and Russian, and the best part? She genuinely loves school, and she's excited to go to school every single day. I mean it. The way they treat kids is a breath of fresh air, and trust me, we've got plenty to compare to. Here's how they handle incidents. If my daughter falls during playtime and gets a bruise, I'll find a full incident report in her diary signed by her teacher. Dear parent, today during recess, with every detail. And the actions they took. For example, they'll write, applied aloe and antiseptic cream, our sincerest apologies for this incident. For us, this was a wonderful surprise, honestly touching. For daycare/preschool, expect to pay around $350 to $400 monthly. For school, expect to pay $400 to $500 per month, plus a $600 annual fee covering all supplies and activities. That way, you're not scrambling for cash every single month. That annual fee covers everything at the preschool for the whole year. Okay, one real downside. The high school education quality. Well, let's just say it's not exactly top tier. By 7th grade, most expat kids switch to schools in the US, Canada, or the UK. Seriously, I don't know a single foreign family whose kids stayed all 12 years in a Mexican school.
Now, let's talk about healthcare. Like I mentioned before, the biggest hospitals in the region are in Cancun. Only 2 hospitals along the entire coast have their own blood banks, the main public hospital and the largest private clinic, Galenia. As for quality, it's actually pretty high. Americans, Canadians, and even some Europeans come here to give birth, for example.
There's this misconception that most foreigners coming here are Russian-speaking birth tourists. Actually, the percentage of these people is pretty low. We have tons of Europeans, African Americans, people from all continents. Lots of Canadians and Americans come specifically for childbirth. That probably tells you something. It suggests the medical standards and overall industry quality, well, let's just say they meet expectations for international visitors.
Mexico's got free healthcare facilities too. When we catch a cold or flu, we just pop into the pharmacy clinic. They've got doctors right there. Just $3 per visit, no lines, and 0 advance booking needed. They do full checkups just like a regular general practitioner. They can prescribe treatments and meds, even antibiotics if needed. Super fast and totally budget friendly. And if you need specialized care, they'll refer you to other doctors just like that. Private medical services are widely available with prices beginning at $50. You can basically see any doctor having a full examination with you.
When we were living in Playa del Carmen, we had to take our kid to the doctor because of a fever. And honestly, the service was really good. Plus, the doctor spoke English, which is pretty rare for Mexico. So, overall, I'd say the healthcare here is solid enough for expats in the region. So if you're into the idea of living in Riviera Maya, then the next logical question is, how much does it actually cost? Let's break it down. Over the past 5 years, real estate prices here have shot up, like a lot. If we're talking property, $200,000 will get you either a one-bedroom apartment in a new Playa del Carmen building or a two-bedder in Cancun. For $500,000, you can snag a 3-bedroom unit in a new development in Tulum. For that same budget, you've got options: a sleek 1-bedroom with oceanfront terrace in Puerto Morelos, or a spacious 4-bedroom house in Cancun's northern district. Bump your budget to $1 million, and we're talking upgrades. A Cancun home with a massive pool or a 4-bed eco-condo in one of Tulum's sustainable communities. Got $3 million to spend? That'll score you a gated community villa with private spa facilities and premium landscaping. As for long-term rentals, prices vary wildly depending on the complex, renovation quality, and neighborhood. Here's how rental prices break down in the area. For a basic 1-bedroom in Playa, not near the beach, you're looking at least $1,500 per month. Want something nicer? A 3-bedroom ocean view apartment will set you back around $4,500 monthly. Now, Cancun does have cheaper options, but in the prime hotel zone's luxury complexes, prices can skyrocket to $7,000 per month for top-tier spots.
Good apartment, great apartment, $2,000 per month. Comparable to my studio in New York, $5,000 a month. That's why when I come to my apartment in Tulum, I say to myself, my life in New York is a joke. It's a joke.
And the minimum price, $1,000. Yeah, like it's not gonna be any view, but it's gonna be a brand new apartment inside of the Puerto, like close to all the stores and activities. And it's gonna be like a $1,000. But comparable with Tulum, you know, it's kind of the same price, but in Tulum, it's not possible to live with the ocean side or any water or any boat or any beautiful picture. The most which you can have, it's to have a rooftop and maybe to see sunset to the jungle. In Puerto Aventuras, the $3,000, you could get an apartment, which is gonna be a perfect because it's absolutely with the ocean side or marina side.
Let's talk about eating out in daily life. It's pricier here. Why? Because this place is super popular with American and Canadian tourists. A decent lunch for one will run you at least $50. Groceries for 3 to 5 days? Expect to drop around $150 at the supermarket. For comparison, a similar restaurant meal in Portugal cost around $30, while the same groceries at a supermarket would run you $70 or more. Plus, you're getting top-notch groceries for that price.
If you compare Miami with Tulum city prices, it's 3 times cheaper here, of course. Especially if you eat local and buy like a lot of veggies and fresh products, meat, chicken. I spent maybe $200 for groceries for 1 week. Going out restaurants, local restaurants, maybe $30 for dinner, including wine. Beach clubs, nomad, it's about $100 per person for dinner with a glass of wine. It's not crazy pricey, but it's not cheap.
The next big factor is the expat community. Having a solid one really matters. More and more Russian-speaking expats are moving to Riviera Maya, so I'm pretty sure this community will keep growing over the next few years. That said, compared to, say, Lisbon, Barcelona, or Miami, the number of Russian speakers here is still way smaller.
Most of our friends are Russian speaking, but that's mainly due to the language barrier. We're working on expanding our circle, though.
And we accept every birthday invitation.
Oh, and we absolutely love attending birthday parties. Mexican ones are particularly amazing. They've got this wonderful tradition of inviting practically everyone to celebrations.
Group chat announcements. They'll literally just text a pic with, "My kid's birthday is on date and place, please come." And the whole crew shows up. Moms, dads, grandparents, siblings, entire families. Imagine a 4-year-old meeting more strangers in one day than in their entire life. You'll see these little bonding moments everywhere. You're fumbling through broken Spanish and English, and suddenly the conversation just flows. That's how connections happen here.
Now, when it comes to holidays in Mexico, they go all out for celebrations. If it's a birthday, they'll invite the neighbors and the neighbors' neighbors and their friends. So yeah, parties here are frequent and massive. When we first arrived, my daughter was a bit scared to play with the local kids due to her shaky Spanish. So she stuck to playing only with Russian-speaking children. But now, in her class of 25 students, around 10 are Russian speakers. And the rest are a mix of Mexicans and expats from all over.
The mom community, those who have had kids here, is huge. They've got their own group chats, and our crew meets up regularly for poker nights. If you put yourself out there, hit up Tulum's beach clubs, play some golf, go to the right DJ sets, trust me, you'll have no problem networking here. So what's the verdict on the community?
Well, I can say the best people I've met in my life, my best friends, I've met them here in Tulum. And they live all around the world. They live in different countries, in different places, and they became my closest friends.
I haven't found many interesting business clubs or meetups in Riviera Maya yet, but I have met tons of cool people from all over. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if those business circles start popping up soon. The expat population in these towns grows bigger every year. Another big factor that might interest a lot of expats? Sports, of course. The sports infrastructure in Riviera Maya is top tier. The coastline is blessed by nature, warm sea, constant breeze, and lagoons that just beg you to live an active lifestyle. Naturally, water sports are huge here. Everything from extreme stuff like shark diving to kite surfing and paddleboarding. The whole state of Quintana Roo has over 20 golf courses, including some still under construction. And Riviera Maya, especially Cozumel Island, is basically a triathlon mecca. They host 2 full-distance Ironman races and a half Ironman here. Sports in general are next level in this area, and that includes plenty of options for kids too. When we're choosing where to live, we usually look at things like climate, schools for our kids, safety, and cost of living. But there's another factor that's just as important. It's the DNA of the place itself. What makes up that DNA? The culture, the history, the indigenous roots, the local spirituality, and traditions. A place's DNA is like its secret formula. The real reason people choose to settle there. Take Asia, for example. Indonesia is a huge, popular country with pretty much the same climate and cost of living across the board. Yet, 99% of expats there, you'll find them in Bali. So it's that one special spot that stands apart from the rest of the country through its religion. Take Thailand, for instance. Why do so many people choose Koh Phangan? A big part of it is that unique spiritual energy the island has. I could give you examples from other countries too. But right now, I'm more curious. What makes Riviera Maya tick? Most people see Riviera Maya as just another pretty beach destination with resorts. But this is actually the land of the ancient Maya civilization, and their descendants still live here as the region's indigenous people. Fun fact, some of them still live deep in the jungles, just like their ancestors did thousands of years ago. To really understand this place's DNA, I went straight to the source, visiting a community of modern Maya descendants. This community is just an hour's drive from touristy Tulum, but it feels like stepping into a completely different world, the world of Maya. People who have called this land home for over 2,000 years. Their entire culture is built on this profound connection with nature. For them, the forest, water, and land aren't just resources, they're sacred, part of a spiritual tradition that's been carefully preserved for centuries.
Look, brother, this is the ancient tree, ceiba.
It's a ceiba.
Ceiba is the most sacred tree that the Mayans have it.
So huge.
Yeah, huge. And as well, it's oriented to the 4 directions. So always is show them the 4 directions. The way that they drink water. Pure water.
This is the part of Cenotes?
But this is more pure. But here the water is more close, yeah. But here is not contamination around. This is the water that we was drinking, and they drink this for all their life, yeah. So, good water.
May I try it?
Sí, que se puede probar,
¿Sí?
se puede traer.
Very soft.
The Maya descendants still live in thatched palm huts, cook over open fires, but here's the thing, it's not about poverty. This is a conscious choice to preserve their culture and spiritual connection with nature. Many communities have seen what happens when people move to cities. Languages fade, rituals disappear, generational bonds break. But here in the jungle, their story lives on.
Everything we create, it's turning into garbage. Everything, your clothes, your cameras, everything. Where are we going to put all this? Is there a special spot on Earth? No, think about it. See the way they live. If they were to move today, just now, to another place, and if you just leave the house the way it is, you come back in a month, nature took over and recycled all that, you know?
The mass tourist team, here with the Mayans, it's very impactful, you know, because the people here just have the idea that these places are like in Europe or in other parts of the world, and people when they come here and they want to buy lands of us, they pay too low prices, and then they just come and they want to cut everything, and after they want to put this concrete, and then they want to put some flowers around, and they want to live the same way that they live there. But that is impossible, that is not the way. They just are destroying not just the culture, they are destroying the harmony around, you know, because for us, all the trees have a spirit. For us, all the animals are his for some reason. And if we don't preserve that, we will gonna lose not just our culture like that, we will gonna lose the way that what we are doing in this world, you know.
Everything is sacred, but we need to put attention to don't affect Mother Earth and human being, and animals, of course. Nobody are putting attention in the animals. A lot of them, they are being extinguished. I hope that the tourists that comes here learn a little from Mayan people. It's necessary to have that understanding that we need to serve, but we respect the soul, respecting the being, not after that they go to the house, start to, and respect everything. Now, before a long time ago, if this cell fell and you didn't see, they follow you and they give you. Now, they take from you. That's not good. That's not honestly. We need to practice again to be honestly respecting the others. That's what I say, my people. I hope that all the tourists that comes learn a little from Mayan people.
These days, Mayan culture often gets turned into just another tourist attraction. Anyone visiting Mexico can pay for one of those touristy shows with costume performers, smoke machines, drum circles, and fire dances. But let's be real, most of that's just theater, a watered-down version that's lost all connection to authentic Mayan traditions. The real Mayan rituals, they're profound spiritual practices, the kind that can literally alter your consciousness without any help from psychoactive substances. I actually experienced this firsthand through a traditional Temazcal ceremony, led by real Maya descendants who perform it exactly as their ancestors did centuries ago. On paper, Temazcal is just an ancient Mayan steam bath built from stone, clay, or bamboo. They bring in scorching hot rocks, pour herb-infused water over them, and you've got steam. But for the Maya, this is way more than just a sauna session.
So the Temazcal is the representation of the womb of the Mother Earth, and we are working here with the 4 elements: the fire, the Mother Earth, the water that is here, and the wind. So this is one of the most beautiful rituals that the Mexicans we have it, because you don't need to take anything to feel the elements, and you don't need even to speak, to say nothing. The elements start to speak, and they will gonna show us this medicine without take anything. So this is one of the very magical rituals that we have it, very ancient. Ah, yeah. That's the signal when they start to be ready. Yeah. The fire talk through us, not the same way that we talk, but when they want something, they move it. As well the wind, when the wind comes, or the water, so our masters.
So how did I feel after my Temazcal? Honestly, this overwhelming connection with nature. Like suddenly understanding how deeply we're tied to it all. Fire, the water, air, earth, it's like they start speaking to you. It takes you back to childhood somehow, to when everything felt real and raw. It shakes you to your core. Probably one of the most profound experiences of my life. The Mayans see humans and nature as one. Their purification rituals, their water ceremonies and cenotes, these aren't just performances. It's a whole way of life built on respect for the earth.
Если для вас важно жить вместе с развитой духовной средой,
If you're looking for a place with real spiritual energy, where you can practice yoga, do retreats, rituals, meditation, and live more mindfully, let me tell you, Riviera Maya is absolutely perfect for that.
Однозначно очень классное место для этого.
To sum it up, the Riviera Maya is one of the most promising regions for expats in Mexico, with its own upsides and downsides. So, the pros: stunning locations, great weather, a huge variety of housing options for every taste, a straightforward immigration process, solid infrastructure, plenty of schools and medical facilities, a big expat community, and top-notch leisure and sports activities. Now, the cons: mass tourism, seasonal fluctuations, safety concerns in certain areas, super humid weather in the off-season, and the risk of hurricanes. The Riviera Maya isn't just a pretty place, it's a whole lifestyle, and that's what draws expats from all over the world. The ocean, year-round summer, a laid-back pace of life, a tight-knit community. Whether you're a digital nomad, an entrepreneur, or family with kids, there's a spot in the sun for you. But what unites everyone? The desire to live freely, in harmony with nature. So friends, I've shown you the Riviera Maya through my eyes. Whether you decide to move here or not, well, that's totally up to you. Maybe this is the place where you'll find a new purpose, a fresh start, maybe even your new home. This has been Anatoly Letaev. Hit that subscribe button, drop your questions in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya!